Welcome to our deep dive into the world of medical research. It's all about how AI is changing the game when it comes to navigating the massive amounts of information out there.
Yeah, really changing the game. It's pretty mind-blowing stuff.
And I think it's something that a lot of people are curious about, like how can AI actually help me understand all this research? So today we're going to be exploring a really cutting-edge AI called LADES.
That's right, LADES. And it's specifically designed to help make sense of all the medical literature out there, which, as you can imagine,
That's a lot.
it is a lot. It's a mountain of information.
Yeah, so before we get into the nitty-gritty of LADES, can you kind of set the stage for us? Like how much information are we actually talking about here?
Oh, it's staggering. Just PubMed alone, one of the largest medical literature databases. Over 35 million publications.
It's 35 million.
35 million. And get this, 1 million new entries are added every year.
Wow, that's a lot to keep up with. So how do researchers even begin to sift through all of this?
Well, the gold standard is something called a systematic review, where researchers they try to analyze all the available studies on a specific question, to try to figure out what's the best course of action.
Okay, that makes sense.
But those reviews, incredibly time-consuming
I bet.
and expensive. On average, it takes over a year to complete just one.
Oh, wow.
And for top institutions and those pharma companies, the cost, it can reach around $17 million annually.
$17 million a year just to do these reviews. That's wild. So where does AI fit into all of this? This is what I'm really curious about.
See, this is where things get really exciting.
Yeah.
AI, particularly these powerful large language models, they're now being used to, streamline that whole process of medical literature mining.
Streamline it.
Yes, it's like having a superpowered research assistant, one that can read and analyze information at lightning speed.
Okay, that's a pretty cool image. So is LA one of these large language models then?
It is.
Yeah.
But unlike some of those other AI models that are out there, those general purpose ones, LA's is a specialist.
Specialist, okay.
Yeah, it's been specifically trained on a massive data set of over 21,000 systematic reviews and hundreds of thousands of clinical trial publications.
So it's really, really focused on this specific type of information.
Exactly. This means LADES has a deep understanding of, medical language and all that research methodology.
Okay, so what can LADES actually do? Can it really help researchers navigate this mountain of literature more effectively?
Oh, absolutely. Imagine you're a researcher, right? And you're trying to find all the relevant studies on a specific topic. LADES can actually help you generate the most effective search queries, to pinpoint the exact studies you need.
So it's kind of like a super search engine for medical research.
It is, but it
Yeah.
goes way beyond simple keyword matching. See, LADES, it understands all the nuances of medical terminology and research design, so it can create those highly targeted search strategies.
That's pretty impressive. And have the researchers behind LADES tested it out, compared it to other AI models?
Oh yeah, they put it to the test. They've compared it to some of the other leading AI models out there, including GPT-4.
GPT-4, that's the one everyone's talking about.
It is.
So how did LADES stack up?
LADES consistently came out on top, especially when it came to generating those really complex search queries. Like, it achieved recall scores exceeding 70% for finding relevant publications.
Okay, 70%.
And 65% for trial records.
65, wow. Can you break down what those scores actually mean in a practical sense? Like, what does that translate to for a researcher?
Think of it like this. Let's say there were 100 relevant studies out there. LADES would be able to find around 70 of them. That's a significant improvement over traditional methods, which, let's face it, they often miss some really crucial studies.
So LADES is like a highly skilled detective uncovering hidden gems in this vast sea of medical research. What else can it do besides just finding the studies?
Well, LADES doesn't stop at just finding those studies. It can also assess whether a study is actually eligible for a particular review. Saves researchers tons of time.
Oh, I can imagine. Researchers must spend a lot of time doing that manually.
Oh, they do?
So what happens once those relevant studies are identified?
Well, then LADES can extract some of the key data points, things like study characteristics, the way the different groups in a trial are structured.
Yeah.
Oh, and participant demographics, of course.
Right.
And, the results, naturally.
So it sounds like LIDA is taking on a lot of the really tedious work, allowing those researchers to actually focus on more analytical and interpretive aspects of their work.
Exactly. That's exactly where the true power of this tech lies. It's not about replacing those human researchers. It's about, augmenting their abilities, allowing them to work smarter and more efficiently.
It really seems like AI tools, like LEDIDES, could be a game changer, especially for researchers working on those really complex medical challenges. But me, I always like to kind of zoom out a little, look at the bigger picture. So let's do that for a sec. What does all this mean for the future of medical research as a whole?
Well, what's really fascinating here is that we could be looking at a fundamental shift in how medical knowledge is actually discovered and applied. For centuries, the pace of progress, it's been limited by our human capacity, to process all that information. But with AI stepping in to, handle the heavy lifting,
Things could really speed up.
yeah, those limitations are starting to fade away.
So it's not just about making things easier, it's about actually accelerating that entire process of scientific discovery.
Exactly. Think about all that time and those resources that are currently spent on those painstaking systematic reviews. What if we could free up all those researchers to focus on, more creative and strategic aspects of their work?
Instead of being stuck in the
Yeah,
weeds, spending months poring over research papers, they could be out there actually designing new studies, collaborating with colleagues, or even just having more time to think deeply about the problems they're trying to solve.
precisely. And that's where those true breakthroughs happen, when those brilliant minds actually have the space and the tools to, well, to push the boundaries of medical knowledge.
Okay, so you've got me envisioning all sorts of possibilities here. Can you give me a concrete example, like a real-world scenario where LEDs could help those researchers make those groundbreaking discoveries?
Okay, let's say there's a sudden outbreak of some new and mysterious disease.
Uh-oh.
Yeah? In the past, it would have taken months, if not years, to gather enough data to understand the illness,
Yeah.
develop treatments, and get those to the people who need them.
Of course.
But with LEDs, that response time could be much faster.
Okay, I'm all ears.
Imagine researchers
Yeah.
all around the world, right? They immediately start inputting any information they have to the system. Things like, symptoms, patient demographics, those preliminary treatment attempts, genetic data, anything that could help shed light on that disease. Leads would then rapidly analyze all of that information, looking for patterns and connections, the kind that human researchers might miss.
So it's kind of like a global brain, constantly learning
Yeah,
and
but-
evolving.
Yeah, and because leads can access and analyze such a huge amount of data, it might be able to, make connections that would otherwise go unnoticed. Maybe there's a drug already being used for another condition that could be repurposed to fight this new disease. Or maybe there are specific genetic markers that make, certain populations more susceptible.
It could help us understand these things so much faster.
It could.
That's amazing.
And imagine all this information then being instantly shared with doctors and scientists around the world. Creates this collaborative network dedicated to, finding solutions.
Yeah, it's like scientific research on fast forward. Instead of waiting years for studies to be published and reviewed, that information's flowing freely and instantly.
Yeah.
Faster diagnoses,
Mhm.
more effective treatments,
Exactly.
and ultimately more lives saved.
That's the potential. It's not just about those individual discoveries. It's about transforming the entire research ecosystem.
Wow. Okay. So we've talked a lot about legs as this powerful tool for research, but how does it actually benefit, me, the everyday person trying to make sense of my own health and all that? How does this actually impact me?
Ah, that's a great question. It gets to the heart of why this is so important. Imagine you're facing some complex medical issue, right? And you want to understand all the latest research, all those treatment options.
Mm.
In the past, you might have had to wade through, all those mountains of technical jargon, trying to decipher all those dense scientific papers.
Yeah, which, let's be real, most of us don't have the time or the expertise to do that effectively.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But with those AI-powered tools like Leylades, you could have access to, those personalized summaries, easy to understand summaries of the most relevant research.
Okay, I like that, tailored to my specific needs.
Exactly. It's about, empowering patients to be active participants in their own healthcare.
Giving them the tools to be more informed.
Exactly. Armed with the knowledge they need to make informed decisions.
And as we've been talking about, Leylades isn't just about analyzing existing research, it's also about generating new insights. So does this mean that, patients could actually play a more active role in shaping the future of medical research?
Absolutely. Imagine a future where you can easily and securely share your own health experiences. Maybe you have a rare condition or you've noticed, unique side effects from a medication. In the past, this info might have been lost. But with AI-powered platforms, it can be collected, analyzed, and used to help those researchers identify new patterns and, develop those better treatments.
That's a pretty amazing thought. It's almost like democratizing medical research, where everyone can contribute.
Yeah, to the advancement of knowledge, the improvement of healthcare.
So we've talked about the potential of LEDs to, revolutionize medical research, empower patients, and even speed up scientific discovery. But like with any new technology, I imagine there are potential challenges and things to consider, right?
You're absolutely right. As exciting as these advancements are, it's important to proceed thoughtfully. We have to make sure that these powerful tools are used responsibly and ethically.
Yeah, it really feels like we're entering this whole new era of medicine, where those traditional boundaries between researchers and doctors and patients, they're all kind of starting to blur.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And I think, as we move further into this uncharted territory, it's really crucial to have those open and honest conversations about, the implications of AI in healthcare. We need everyone at the table. Policymakers, ethicists, patients, the public at large, to really shape the future of this tech. Make sure it aligns with, our values.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's still a tool. We have to be thoughtful about how we use it. It's a reminder that even though we're talking about this super cutting edge tech, that human element, it's still essential. Can't just blindly trust the algorithms. We need to guide their development, make sure they're used ethically.
Right. And that's really where the concept of human AI collaboration becomes so important. It's not about AI replacing human expertise. It's about creating this synergy where each partner kind of complements the other's strengths.
So it's not human versus machine.
No.
It's human and machine working together to, hopefully achieve something greater than either one could alone. Yeah.
Exactly. And as we've seen with that collaboration has the potential to, unlock some really incredible advancements in medical research. faster discoveries, more personalized treatments.
Ultimately, a healthier future for everyone.
Exactly.
Well said. Okay, so before we wrap up this deep dive, I want to bring it back to you, the listener. The reason you joined us today was to understand how AI is changing the world of medical research, and what it means for you.
And I think it's safe to say that AI is, well, it's really poised to revolutionize healthcare in ways we're only beginning to imagine. Think about it. Staying informed about the latest medical breakthroughs, it doesn't have to be a daunting task anymore.
Yeah, it really doesn't. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by, mountains of jargon, imagine being able to quickly and easily access that info that's most relevant to you, your health, and the well-being of your loved ones.
hmm That's the promise of these AI-powered tools like that. They have the potential to, well, empower all of us with knowledge, help us make more informed decisions about, well, our health and our well-being.
It's like having a personalized medical advisor, guiding us through all the complexities of medical research, providing us with the insights we need to, well, take control of our own health journeys.
And remember, this is just the beginning. As AI continues to evolve, we can expect even more amazing advancements in the years to come. Who knows what groundbreaking discoveries are out there, driven by the power of, well, human ingenuity and artificial intelligence.
It's an exciting time to be alive, that's for sure. And we hope this deep dive has given you a glimpse into that incredible potential of AI to really transform healthcare for the better. Thanks for joining us on this journey of discovery.